Hey, welcome. Have you ever really thought about the story your own voice tells? Not just the words, but the sound, the music of your accent? Today, we're going to dive into why that unique sound isn't some flaw you need to fix, but a superpower you already have.
But let's just get right into it with a question that, might feel a little awkward. Why do we do this? Why does one accent sound sophisticated to us while another one might sound, well, something else? I promise you, it's not random. This is a bias with really deep roots.
And that instinct to rank voices? It leads us straight to this idea of an accent hierarchy. It's like this invisible ladder. We're about to pull back the curtain on this system and ask a really basic question. Who on earth decided that one way of talking is the right way, anyway? Look, the simple, unfortunate truth is that not all accents are created equal in the court of public opinion. In so many places, some accents get the label proper or standard, while others get brushed off as foreign, funny, or even just plain wrong. This has nothing to do with being understood. It's about prejudice. And this isn't just some abstract concept. This stuff has real-world consequences. A Nigerian scholar teaching at a university shared this piece of feedback from a student evaluation. My accent gives them a headache. Just think about that. You're an expert in your field, teaching in a language that was, by the way, introduced to your home country centuries ago, and you're being judged not on your brilliant ideas, but on how you pronounce your vowels. It's so frustrating and deeply unfair. So, where did all these biases even come from? Well, to figure that out, we need a little history lesson. And I gotta tell you, this one is a bit of a mind bender. It's gonna flip a huge assumption you probably have about British and American English right on its head. The real story is definitely not what you think. Okay, so picture this. It's the 1700s. Before the American Revolution, people in London and people in the American colonies, they sounded pretty much the same. But then something big happened, the Industrial Revolution. This created a new class of super wealthy elites in Britain who wanted to sound different, to stand out. So they started speaking in a new, what they thought was more refined way. And that eventually became what we now call RP, or received pronunciation, that classic BBC accent. So here is where it gets wild. We all kind of assume that the American accent is just a weird, warped version of the original British one, right? Wrong. History actually shows us the complete opposite is true. The modern British accent is the one that went through this massive change, all driven by social class. American English? It actually held on to more of the sounds from 18th century England. So in a weird way, you could argue the American accent is actually more original. How crazy is that? Okay, so if history proves that no accent is more correct than another, then why do we still judge them so harshly? This question takes us out of history and drops us right into psychology. Let's dig into the hidden biases that are running in the background, shaping how we hear and perceive other people. There's actually a name for this. It's called accent bias. It's the knee-jerk, unfair judgment we pass on someone based purely on the way they talk. And let's be absolutely crystal clear here. This bias has nothing, and I mean nothing, to do with how smart someone is or how clearly they're actually communicating. Its roots are all tangled up in history, power, and social class. So this really breaks down the why behind it all. It's a mix of things, really. You've got the colonial legacy, where European accents were held up as the gold standard. It's tied to social status and money. And honestly, a lot of the time it's just plain old unfamiliarity. Our brains sometimes make this faulty connection where something that sounds different must somehow be deficient. But here's the real takeaway. These judgments are about power, not logic. Okay, that's the problem. It's heavy stuff. But what do we do about it? Let's try to shift our focus from the bias to the beauty. Let's explore some new ways to think about language. Ways that help us actually appreciate the incredible, beautiful diversity of accents all around us.
Oh, I absolutely love this story. So, that same Nigerian teacher in Mississippi who was getting complaints about her accent, she decided to try a little experiment. She wrote a word from her own Yoruba language on the board, a jung body, and she asked her American students to try and say it. And of course, they stumbled, they laughed, they totally struggled with it.
And then she hit them with this absolutely brilliant lesson. She wasn't trying to embarrass them. She was trying to build empathy. And in that one moment, it clicked for the students. They realized that struggling with a new sound isn't a sign of stupidity. It's a sign of courage. It completely flipped the script for them. You know, this idea of flipping the script brings me to a fantastic analogy, comparing accents to food. Specifically, a big, delicious pot of gumbo from the American South. Nobody looks at gumbo and says it's incorrect because it has ingredients from all over the globe. No way! That fusion is exactly what makes it so incredible. Gumbo's recipe is literally a story of cultural fusion. You've got okra, which has West African roots. You've got a roux, which is from the French. You've got spices from different cultures. Each ingredient adds to this new thing that's totally unique and celebrated. And accents? They're the exact same thing. They blend sounds and rhythms from different places to create something new, something rich, and something packed with history. So this all brings us to the final, and I think the most important part of this whole conversation. After digging through the history and the psychology, it's time to talk about you and why embracing your own unique sound isn't just nice, it's absolutely critical. The bottom line is this. Being authentic is so much more powerful than trying to imitate someone else. I mean, think about these amazing people. The beautiful music in Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's Nigerian accent, the pure energy in Sofia Vergara's Colombian accent, the elegance in Lupita Nyong'o's voice, or the genuine warmth in Jackie Chan's. They didn't try to erase their accents to be successful. They own them, and their unique voices became a huge part of why the world loves them. So let's reframe this one last time. Your accent is not a flaw. It is a badge of courage. It is living, breathing proof of your personal journey, a story about migration, about adapting to new places, and about the incredible brain power it takes to live and work in more than one language. So let's end with this thought. Every single accent tells a story. The next time you hear an accent that's different from yours, just lean in, get curious. Instead of just hearing the words, try to hear the music in it. Ask yourself, what story is this voice telling? Because when we choose to listen with curiosity instead of judgment, we're doing more than just hearing words. We're building a bridge to another human being.